Oh, the video's on. So welcome back to another YouTube tutorial. Finally, Lewis is actually doing a light painting video. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this for a long time. It's quite a long video to make, but it's going to be worth it, hopefully. Oh, it's a long video to make, anyway. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to light paint with a flash or an LED light. So whatever technique you want to use, I'm going to show you the full guide on how to use both. By the way, if you hear creaking, it's my chair. I've swapped it out, but it still squeaks. Quick disclaimer, this is just how I do a light painting shot. Whether it's right or wrong, it's fine. Like, there's going to be techniques out there that are better than what I'm doing. But if you're watching this video, it's going to give you a good understanding on where to start. Again, it's not perfect, but it works. So I'm going to be keeping it straight to the point, simple, easy to follow, and just, yeah, no messing about. I feel a bit dull wearing black on black. Let's quickly put this t-shirt on. There we go, I'll just put that one on instead. Whether that transition's gonna work, I don't know. So at the time of making this video, I've currently got 2,956 subscribers. I've had quite a lot of new subscribers, so if you're all watching, thank you for subscribing and being patient with my content. I'm gonna try and post more often, but yeah, I've been working, but it's difficult to keep up with it. Right, so let's get a move on. Because when it comes to long intros, ain't nobody got time for that. So the kit you are going to need to do a light painting shot is going to be a camera, a tripod, obviously a flash or an LED, doesn't matter which one you're using. Just pick the technique you want to go for. Obviously after watching this video you'll know which one you want. In terms of the flash, you can get a Canon speed light like the one I've got. My eyeballs, my retinas. I've got the Speedlight 430EX2. I don't know how much they're going for, probably about 100 quid second hand. You can get a cheap one off Amazon for like 30-40 quid. In terms of the LED, again, this is just a newer CN160. It takes AA batteries or a Sony F battery. I forgot what they're called, but they're super popular. This one's good. Dim the brightness. Again, they're both pretty much priced the same if you're going to go cheap. There's obviously going to be more expensive ones out there, but for now, between 30 and 50 quid for either a flash or the LED. Oh, this chair is so annoying, man. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's finally jump on set and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're actually doing the light painting. Okay, so first we're going to start with using the flash, and the setting on the flash is going to be 1/1, which is maximum power. So I've put the camera settings on the screen, but make sure that you shoot in RAW, not JPEG. When you're shooting RAW, you've got more information to work with. So get your tripod set up. I'm shooting for Instagram, so my camera is going to be on the side, obviously for portrait, and I've got all my equipment I need underneath it. So this was just a test shot. You're going to have to take a few of these to dial in your settings, to obviously your surroundings, but yeah, there's the first test shot done. Next, make sure your camera is on a 10-second timer, so you should be able to hear it now. Now, it's obviously going to allow you to get over to the car, take your shots that you need, and then go back. So I'm manually setting off the flash. So when I listen to the camera and I know it's taking the picture, I've got 5 seconds of that shutter time or shutter speed to press that button. Make sure you're wearing black as well. It makes it easier for editing in Photoshop later. So the difficult thing about light painting is it's time consuming. So you want to make sure that you've got space for error. So you want to take at least 3 or 4 of the same sort of shot. So if you're trying to illuminate the back left panel of the car, you want to at least have more pictures just in case. Also keep in mind as well that you've got to take those exposures for every part of the car. So you need to make sure that you've got exposures correct for the front bumper and the hood or bonnet, the front window, the roof, front splitter, wheels, the side panel, the rear, if you're doing rear shots as well. So you've got to make sure that you've got every sort of bit covered. There's been a lot of light painting shots that I've done where I've completely missed like a section and it's just dark in the final edit. And make sure you're really thinking about where you need to expose, because remember, it's a combination of about between 4 and like 6 separate shots that you need to merge together to make the final edit. So the more pictures you've got on set, the better you'll be in editing, because you'll be thankful that you've got more pictures to play with, if that makes sense. This talking gets me so thirsty, man. Woo! Oh, mouth like Gandhi's flip-flop. Right, so next, we're gonna go over what it looks like on set when you're using the LED. So when you're using the LED, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. The camera settings are pretty much the same. I just changed it to f4, just a little bit more focus on the car. And with the LED, make sure it's on the brightest setting every time you use it, just so the light doesn't change, if that makes sense. With the LED, you got to make sure that you are moving the light around. It's not like the flash where it's just stationary. You can move the light, and wherever you move the light source, it'll brighten the area. Try to avoid doing this when you're like painting with the flash or LED, like getting in the way. And here's the result of doing that. So you'll see that it just messes the shot up. But apart from that, it's pretty much the same technique as if you was to use the flash anyway. So just taking your time, more exposures than you need. So next we're going to jump into editing. Also a good thing to have at the start of your shoot is a list of exposures to get. So for example, you want to make sure that you've exposed the wheels, roof and the front windshield, the bonnet or hood of the car, front bumper. Like make a list of what you want depending what angle. Always make sure you've got a shot with no lights, no light painting at all, as just like a base shot just in case, and then a shot with like headlights on. The shot you need to do with the headlights on, you have to expose for the headlights, so you don't need to have a 5-second shutter. Just bring it down to like 1 second, something quick. So overall you've got about 6 different exposures that you want as a list. Also, before we jump into the computer and we go onto Lightroom, now I don't know why this is, but it works for me, is the color grading's better if you do it in Lightroom first, instead of doing everything in Photoshop with all the pictures and then come into Lightroom. For some reason the color grading process doesn't look as good. So I color grade the pictures before taking them into Photoshop, as just a heads up to show you that that's why I'm doing it. I don't know why this is, it's probably a way of doing it. For me, it works for me to edit the pictures before taking them into Photoshop. So let's jump into the computer now and we'll go to Lightroom. So here's 5 exposures I got with the flash that we're going to start with. So as you can see, I'll do a before and after just to show you that I've edited it. So yeah. I'll have a little link in the bio or the description for some presets that I've done from this as well. So what we're going to do next, have your picture selected. You're going to right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. So in Photoshop now, first things first is name your files to make it easier for you. So this is going to be the base shot. So this is the first shot that I took, and it's going to be my base. Then I'm going to click off the little the eye icon, which basically hides that layer. And then I'm going to go down and name each one. So that's obviously front hood or just front to make it easier. So make sure you name your layers first. So after doing all that, I'm going to drag the base layer all the way to the bottom. So what you're going to do next is disable all the other layers. So the one at the bottom, which is base, is visible. And my next layer up is rear wheel 2. So we're going to start with that one. Click that, turn it on, and pretty much we're just going to be working with this rear wheel area. I've actually overexposed it slightly, which is why it looks a little bit too bright. That's my mistake. It's just what we're going to work with for demonstration purposes. Next, you're going to make sure you've got the layer selected. Go down and press this button, which is the layer mask. Now you can auto align these layers, and there's a method to do that, but just for this we're just going to manually line them up. So we're going to go to the opacity, turn it down, and then use the arrow keys to line the shots up. Now press Command I and you invert the layer, so it hides this layer behind the mask. Next you're going to press B or brush tool, you'll find it in the left menu. Make sure the color is white, and that's going to help us to paint in that shot that we've hidden. As you can see, if I paint in black, it hides it. If I paint in white, by pressing X, you can switch it, it paints in. So you can see the little white spot on the right, and if I paint in loads of it, you can see loads of it. White paints the shot in, and black hides it. So paint in the area that you're going to need. Again, remember, it's not perfect, it's just demonstration purposes, so I'm doing it quickly. If you find little spots that you want to get rid of quickly, click on the actual picture, not the layer mask. You're going to press J, which is going to bring up the healing brush, and then you're just going to paint over the little white spots, and Photoshop should sort out those little white spots. As you can see, they're gone. So little changes that you can make just to kind of clean up the picture. It doesn't help as well that the car is actually proper filthy. Like, it did need a wash. So if you can see the imperfections on the paintwork at the bottom, it's just because the car was like really dirty. But clicking this layer on and off, you can see the difference it's made. So let's get rid of me. So we're just going to paint out me at the side of the shot just to get rid of it. So we can use the background from that shot. With that done, next it's onto the front wheel. And as we can see, we need to line the shot up. So quickly just do all the alignment. So same process, click on the layer mask, Command I, brush tool, make sure it's white, and then start painting in. So as you can see on this bit, I actually made a mistake. So the floodlight in the area that I was standing actually emitted so much light that it caused a shadow on the side of the car. At the time of me filming, I just didn't notice, but I would have noticed if I was just doing it for like a client shoot. So I would take way more care, but it just goes to show you how easy it is to like make a mistake. So I'm going to do the lights next, and I'm actually going to use the floor for the surrounding for the exposure because it looks a lot cleaner. So you've got like the red coming from the rear, and then obviously you've got the lights reflection because it was a little bit wet on the floor as well. Next is onto the front bumper and the bonnet or the hood as well. So pretty much just do all the usual bits, take your time with it as well. And that's pretty much it done. There's the essentials of how to light paint. Like I said, the picture's not perfect, but it gives you the idea of how to light paint. So the next step is literally just Command S, save the picture, and then when you go back into Lightroom, it's there and ready for you. If it's going on Instagram, change it 4:5, center your picture, and you're pretty much done with that shot and the light paint's ready to post. Now it's time to edit the LED shots, and I actually prefer the outcome of the shots I got with the LED. I think it's because the LED shows the true color of the car. Because it's so bright, you're able to really work with the paint, and the color representation from the LED just looks a lot better. As you can see, I'm using the shot to reduce the streaks. That can be a difficult downside when you're using the LED light is light streaks. But as you can see, editing these shots from the LEDs just seems a lot easier, and you need less exposure. So I think I only needed 4 main pictures to work with. If you're using a flash, you might need more pictures. So I definitely prefer the LED version for now. It just means that I need a better flash strobe. So with the shot edited and back into Lightroom, 4:5 for Instagram. And I actually missed a couple of exposures with the LED because I was in a bit of a rush. It was kind of getting late. We've been there a while, and I just obviously wanted to get the video done. So I missed the exposure for the roof and a bit more for the wheels. So you can do a bit of editing on the wheels in terms of bringing up the shadows, which does look a lot better. So in terms of editing the shots, so that's pretty much it. Wait, that side here. That's pretty much it in terms of editing. The pros and cons of using the flash. The pros would be easy to use, pretty much 0 light streaks. I'd say the cons would be you need to take more shots if you're using the flash. The pros of using the LED would be you can cover more of the car with a single shot. It shows off the car color quite nicely as well, and you just require less shots to get them enough exposures. The cons of the LED would be easy light streaks along the side of the car and reflections, and that's pretty much the only con I'd say with the LED. Now, something that's going to help with reflections anyway is going to be a Cpl filter. It basically, long story short, it just reduces reflections. Depending on your lens, the cost is going to be different. So I'm hoping all these tips in the video that you've watched and you've made it this far, hopefully, have helped you. And it shows you the lengthy process you need to go through to get a light painting shot, which is why a lot of photographers don't do it. I'm going to be doing a lot more light painting because I just think it's different and you can be quite creative with it. I will be having a preset pack. It's only 3 presets. It will be in the link in the description. I'll probably throw some pictures on the screen now just to show you a couple of examples of using presets, which is why it's going to help. It's just a little preset pack that's going to help with editing light paint shots. Link to that is in the description, which is going to help out. So I hope you really enjoyed the video. You can drop a like and subscribe to keep supporting me in terms of more YouTube content. I am gonna roll out more ideas. I've got a whole whiteboard and I've put lists down, and I think I'm really gonna get on it this year in terms of tutorials, helpful videos, little things. Now I've actually done the light painting video, I can do little videos. So my editing workflow, JPEG versus RAW, what lens to get, what camera's good to start with, all these little questions I get asked on Instagram. So yeah, I just hope the video helped. So without further ado, let's end the video properly. See you in a bit.